Today we have a 2016 Honda Odyssey, and we're going to be taking a look at the Rhino Rack RT-Style Roof Rack track system. Some vehicles we don't have the option to put a roof rack on the roof, kind of like our Odyssey we have here. Usually it's because of sliding doors, but there are some other instances where we aren't going to be able to put a roof rack on here. But with these rails, it's going to allow us to do that. We can do a 2-bar setup to get a lot of accessories on our roof. With the Rhino Rack kit, we have 2 different crossbars to pick from and 2 different colors for each. One, we can just go with the aero crossbars, so it's going to be a little bit quieter up on your roof, a little bit more aerodynamic. And then we're going to have the HD bars as well. So pick whichever ones you think is going to be best for you. In my opinion, the aero bars are typically the ones that are going to work with most of your accessories. On the one side, we're going to have an open little slot, so we don't have to remove anything to put in our accessories. And with our towers that we're using for the aero bar system, all of your accessories are going to slide in this little end cap here, so you don't have to remove anything, which is nice. And it goes all the way along the whole entire track, so you can really find out exactly where you want to put your bars. And it's going to accept a block that is about 1 inch by 13/16 of an inch. The Rhino Rack system is awesome when it comes to taking your towers and your crossbars off. All you need is your key. You're gonna unlock this, and look at that. All you gotta do is pull these in, pull this out, and we're gonna have a little end cap here. If you wanted to take these off, all you have to do is just take the little tool, loosen it, and slide it all the way off. But I do not mind having these on here because it's gonna be a lot quicker than your other option, which is Thule. The Thule ones, the towers are gonna take a little bit longer to take off, but they won't leave this little bottom section. So that's kind of all up to you. I like having these here just because it makes for adjusting the whole entire roof rack a lot quicker. And also, I just don't mind the look. I think it kind of looks cool. So if I were to go with one of the 2 kits you have an option for, whether it's a Thule or the Rhino Rack, I would definitely go with the Rhino Rack. So if we wanted to go back to the bare track system, it would just loosen it up, and then you can just go ahead and slide it out, and we're done. So I think that's also going to be quicker than the Thule option, which is why I really like the Rhino Rack. Of your 2 options, both the Thule and the Rhino Rack, the track system is going to be a flat black, which I think that's the best looking in my opinion. I don't know if it's just because of our white car, but it does look really, really good. When it comes to the install, it isn't your typical install. There is a little bit more associated with it. We're just going to have to drill some holes. We're going to have to do some rivets. Don't get nervous, because Adam's going to take care of it. You can trust me. We went through this whole entire thing, and it wasn't that bad at all. So if you haven't ever used a rivet gun or even a drill, just watch this video, and you're going to glide through the install. So stick around for that. First thing you want to do is get some tape, and before you put the tape down, you want to clean off the surface so the tape sticks. And then I did 2 layers just to kind of give me an idea of exactly where I want. Just want to protect the roof from anything. And then once that's done, we're going to take some measurements. These measurements will vary from vehicle to vehicle, but what I'm doing on our 16 Honda Odyssey, there is a little trim piece here, and there's a little line right in there. So I'm using that line as a reference, and the goal here is to get the even amount of spacing from this point here to our track, and then we're going to go on the back, and I'm using the little hatch crack right here to get about 17 inches. So there's 17 right here, and then 17 from our front measurement as well. Once we get that done, grab a little Sharpie or a marker and mark these lines at that mark on each side. And then it does help if you have an extra set of hands, because as you can see, our roof is a little curved and our bar is not. So what I did was I grabbed a friend and I lined up one, pushed this side down, and then you take that same exact Sharpie marker and you mark all these holes. So as you can see on our tape, we have our line, hole, 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 holes, line. So we do want to make sure that it's going to be nice and even as well. So I'm using the gutter right here as a reference to make sure that the distance between the gutter and the center of the hole is the same throughout the whole entire thing. I like this just because it's going to kind of curve to our gutters and it'll look really good. Now we're going to need a 5mm bit, and we do want to set the stop. So I'm using tape just because I don't have these in my garage, so you probably won't either. But using this tape here, we want about 5 to 7 millimeters of bit sticking out because we don't want to go all the way through the headliner. So typically with drilling this stuff out, you want to be nice and slow and steady, one, just to make sure that bit's not going to get all dull. But especially in this case, we don't want to go through too quick and punch through our liner. So medium amount of pressure, and we don't want to be sitting here ripping like that. So you just want to sit there, do it nice and easy. And just take your time. Patience is a virtue. My mom always told me that. And we can do the same thing for all of our other holes. Trust me when I say these metal shards don't feel good when they hit your skin. So let's suck them on up. Well, now we can take our masking tape off. Not really doing a great job, but so what I'm doing is just take a little bit of clear and putting it on like a little rag. Ear little cleaner is gonna be the best for this. We just wanna go and hit the inside of that metal to coat it. And then once we put this on all the holes, we'll just give it like 15 minutes to dry. Now it's time for the butyl tape. You just wanna take one side, pull it off, and line it up with the hole the best you can. Just like that. And then we can do that for all the holes, and then we will peel this top layer off. If you got fingernails, great. If you don't, find some fingernails. It's kind of hard to peel this off. There we go. Now that we have our bar up, we just want to put our end caps on, get our rivets ready, and then get some air to our rivet gun. I do not have a rivet gun in my arsenal in my garage, so if you don't, just go to the hardware store and pick one up. And you don't really need a really fancy one. You just need one that's going to work because it is a necessary part to this install. We do want to start with the front and work our way back. We have this little spacer that comes with the rivets in the kit. And we want to make sure it's nice and seated in there. If not, just take a little hammer and just tap, 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 tap. Not too much. We just want to make sure it's in there. And depending on the rivet gun that you're using, there might be a little bit of scratches on the rails, but they do give you that spacer. Grab this, and here's the spacer. We're going to use this spacer for the remaining holes. Once you have it done on one side, you do the same exact thing on the other side, and that's pretty much it for a look at the Rhino Rack RT Roof Rack track system on our 2016 Honda Odyssey.